What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to another Epic 7 video. Today we're going to look at Eligos first impressions, as well as a few other things in the patch notes. Unfortunately, ML Leica's not making it. You'll see why in a sec, guys. We're going to go through the entire summary of what is coming out in terms of content. But before we begin, as always, guys, the box password is DaggerSakar, so type that in, get your free lease in gold. And let's get into the video. Okay, guys, got the 1-minute summary, and we'll cruise through this really quickly, talk about what's new, and then go straight into the Eligos preview and give our first impression. Can't wait to look at that with y'all. But let's go ahead and start here, guys. Epic 7 update, 1-minute summary. Let's scroll through here real quick. So we will be looking at Eligos. He's having a side story called Family. Kind of like Mr. Toretto. New hero, Architect Leica. You'll see what I'm talking about here in just a sec, guys, with her new EEs. I was actually surprised here. I didn't know it's already been time for our new exclusive equipment rotation. That's kind of cool to see. Now, this one's kind of crazy, guys. We have a nickname change ticket coming through. And if you are newer to Epic 7, these are extremely rare. Since I've been playing, I think only one of these came around. And it was kind of like a freebie that they sent in the mail. And ever since then, in 4 years playing this game, right, we've only had that one time because there are some weird things that can happen. Some players think this promotes, account selling, because then you can buy accounts, change the name to your own, etc., etc. But regardless, Smilegate decided to bring these out. We'll see if there's any more info on that. If it's going to be like I believe they said Skystone purchase, but we'll double check that. So those of you that have been wanting a name change, that's good. Hopefully the pros outweigh the cons, and then we have some World Arena improvements. Okay, let's move through this quickly, guys. We're not going to look at anything Eligos. We'll watch his own video separately in just a second here. Yeah, let's not spoil ourselves. Here we go, guys. So the Leica. I was expecting to see Leica already because she's already coming out in 2 weeks. It's about time. And normally now is when we get the preview. We get to see their full kit 2 weeks ahead of time. Starts a theory craft, give our first impression, think about it. But this is really strange. Look at this. Preview on 3/29, available 3/30. We have 1 day to see the preview, and then she comes out the next day. A little bit weird from Smilegate. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the video wasn't done in time. Maybe last minute work on, I don't know, sound files for the voice actor. Who knows what it might be, guys, but this is a very rare thing. I don't know if this has happened before where we only get the preview 1 day before the actual release, but regardless, they do have the art, and she will be coming, it says here, right, in 2 weeks, guys. 3/30, right at the end of the month. So overall, real quick, let me know what y'all think about Leica on my Twitch stream. A lot of people, listen, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Leica. We still haven't even received Brenus yet. Not to offend any Leica fans out there, but I do think this kind of came out of nowhere. A lot of people were expecting Kayron or Rowana. I think there's a ton of other ML units. I'm still waiting for like ML Luna or original units that I think haven't had a chance yet to have a Moonlight, and she's kind of a newer one. And the fact that we don't even have Brenus yet, a little bit weird. But regardless, I'll be keeping an open mind. I'm not super excited, but if her kit's great, hey, I can be converted to be a fan. So let's keep moving on, guys. Like I remember, we won't see her until the 29th. So here we go. Exclusive equipments. Flan coming out. Flan very powerful right now for cleave. Especially if you fight players that don't have immunity. Immunity's been kind of pushed out a little bit here and there. But she's going to be getting effectiveness. Skill 1 will get a increased chance to debuff. Buff dispel chance, excuse me. Skill 2, Data Monopoly, will have an increased combat radius by 10%. Okay. And then skill 3 will have an additional 5% when using advantageous deal. So overall, pretty nice. More stats for Flan. Honestly, I don't think she needed an EE, but I guess good unit's going to get even better. None of these seem super broken, but once again, I don't really cleave. So you guys let me know if these seem insane. Just as someone who's going to have to fight this, it's whatever. I mean, Flan already, if you can deal with her, you can deal with her. Usually you have to ban her. Otherwise, she's going to set up a defense break, push up some units, and destroy you, right? So she's a very tough unit to deal with already. At least this isn't like speed, but, more effectiveness is kind of annoying. All right, let's keep moving on here, guys. We have Sinful Angelica, who I at least haven't seen too often, at least in RTA. I'm sure she's still used maybe in like Guild Wars Arena PvE situations, maybe some people's Wyvern one-shots. But I think with Bryceria out, kind of, you don't see her as much in terms of like anti-revive. But she will be getting a speed EE, which is always very nice, right? Especially those of you that use her as an opener. The skill 2, Soul Harvest. So she has 2 for skill 2, 1 for skill 3. The first one, when an enemy dies while the caster is mortal, we get increased combat radius of all allies by 15%. Okay. The other one for Soul Harvest will increase Soul Harvest amount recovered. I think, guys, personally, this one, unless we're talking some weird PvE scenarios, like the healing is very negligible. I'm not in terms of actual healing. I'm sure that's decent, but like no one really uses, Sinful Angelica, at least from what I've seen, as a healer per se. So I don't really know if anyone's going to use that one. If you guys are, let me know. Skill 3, Dark Salvation. Increases effectiveness cast for 2 turns when using Dark Salvation. Okay, so free effectiveness. Usually that means 50%, right? She'll probably get a hit rate buff, and then that'll be 50% effectiveness. Okay, kind of cool, I guess. Maybe that'll make Sinji used a little bit more since she hasn't been seen as often outside of PvE from my experience. And here we go. The nickname change ticket, which is what I was talking about. It can indeed be bought with Sky Stones. We'll see how much it is, guys, and we'll see if there's any negative effects in terms of, you know, increased account trading, selling, buying. But overall, if that's, let's keep that under the rug, and hopefully this is just a net positive, and a lot of y'all get to change your names in case y'all aren't happy with that, right? World Arena improvements. This is nice. Changing up the pre-bans. Some of y'all aren't really too concerned with this, though. And then we got some drop rate ups for some random heroes. Guys, I'm still, maybe this might be Copium, still hoping that there's going to be a collab coming out, maybe Slime. So I would hold your bookmarks for now, unless if you did miss out on Lua. I think this is a very nice one to pick up. She's not limited like Amid, but she is a very strong opener unit. So if you need to take advantage of that, make sure y'all get that. Remember, Leica not until 329 preview, 330 release. All right, let's get into the Eligos first impression. Okay, guys, let's go watch the Eligos preview.
You want to know who I am?
Listen to that jazz.
It's probably better if you don't know.
I'm gonna speak
It's
easy.
unfortunate, but you need to
Let me move that for y'all.
disappear.
Okay, pretty cool animation,
From
I think.
now on, we're running things around here.
I think the guys, just personally, real fast. The voice, amazing. The music, awesome. The cutscene from what I saw, just really fast, looked pretty cool. Is it just me, or the splash art doesn't quite look as polished as some of the other heroes? Still looks great. Eligos, I think, is an awesome looking character. Something about this splash art, though. Let me know if y'all agree. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. He looks good. Now this art looks amazing. Is that the artifact art? Dang, dude. Look at that pistol too. That golden. Little golden eye. This art I'm not the biggest fan of, but yeah. So Frederick and Crow. Frederick, I think, was involved with like cigarette. Little concept art. I love that whole detective, speakeasy kind of thing. There's a cigarette over there.
Disappointed,
with the whole
Eligos
test tube
returned
thing.
to Terranor's criminal underbelly, where he
I love this
founded
animation.
Dagor Sakar. After peace is restored in Terranor, Eligos and Dagor Sakar receive a government contract at the behest of Crow.
Guys, Dagor? Dagger? Do y'all say dagger or dagger? GM says, pronounces that kind of interesting.
Setting out on this covert mission, they board a ship bound for Eurasia.
Eurasia. I
where they
can't wait for
encounter the
Eurasia, guys.
vampire Melissa.
More vampires. Come on. All right, Melissa, here we go. Let's pause here. We'll go through it
Eligos is
ourselves. So we have a Fire Ranger. Not surprised. I was thinking either Ranger or Thief, right, boys? Imprint release is attack, and imprint concentration is crit. Crit chance always very, very strong on any character that needs crit. 124 base speed is very fast, guys. That's going to be a lot faster than certain openers. And it's the same as like Pavel and something else. Obviously slower than like Ran. But 124 is definitely solid. It's in like the top 5, top 10 of openers for sure. Those of you that are super into speed, I think y'all will know exactly. But that's very good. Let's keep going on here, guys. So Fire Ranger Virgo. Let's check out the skills. Skill number 3. Look at this art too. I love that. Cloak and Trigger. Kind of like Cloak and Dagger. We get a 4 turn after cooldown. Skill 3. Attacks enemy with a pistol, dispelling 2 buffs. Oh god, guys, we have more ignore effect resist. I think they need to stop doing this, but I guess if it's already like in the game, you know, you gotta have other units have it so that they're on par and they don't feel underpowered. But man, ER is such a bad stat. Anyways, let's focus on Eligos here. Before inflicting target and decreasing defense, so 100% decreased defense chance, 100% target chance for 2 turns, dispels 2 buffs, right? So it gets past immunity plus a barrier if there was something like that protecting it. And you can also use 20 souls to even do this to the highest effect resist soul weavers out there. You also get a CR pushback of 35%, which is respectable. And I believe that becomes 50, right, guys? Yeah, 50% actually after Mola plus 4 turn cooldown. Okay, pretty powerful effect. Let's see the animation here.
Attacks the enemy.
I'll scroll ahead real quick. We saw a little bit of it before, right? Let's see.
And decreasing combat
Sitting in a
readiness by
couch,
up to 50%.
pulls out that gun.
When 20 soul is consumed.
How much damage that do, guys? Let's see the damage real quick.
And
Look at that little
decreasing
cat, by the way.
combat readiness by up to 50%. When 20 soul is consumed.
1500. So the damage, it seems like the multiplier in the skill 3 is very low, but obviously, right, the debuffs are very powerful.
Ignores effect resistance.
See the rest of his skills.
Skill 2.
The skill 2 is the Cleaner. When an ally except for the caster defeats an enemy, increase attack of the caster for 2 turns. Okay, so self-attack up. As long as anyone on his team kills an enemy, right? Defeat means they have to kill it. Before activating Time Bomb. So he's going to have some bombs. Against the enemy with the highest attack, can only be activated once every 3 turns. 2 turn after cooldown, or molas. Time Bomb. Attacks enemy with a bomb. Let's see if it actually does a bomb. I'm assuming it does, right? It says bomb here. Grants perception to the caster for 2 turns. Perception, which I believe gives 15% crit chance and 15% damage. Something like that. I know it's like crit plus something else. When the caster's speed is greater than the target's speed, increases damage up proportional to the difference up to maximum 200%. Okay, so that's a big, he's a fast base unit like we mentioned. You're going to build him. You probably want to build him as an opener. Stop other openers. Set up that defense break plus target, and then hopefully someone can follow up because you're going to push back the opener, then your follow-up unit can kill something and he'll get this big attack here. Let's see what it looks like, and let's see the damage. And remember guys, anytime we show damage here, or they show damage I should say, take it with a grain of salt until we see the multipliers ourselves. A lot of these times the test, it's on a test server. Can't tell too much from it.
Attacks the enemy with a bomb.
So Bologna's killing something here, right?
For 2 turns.
So they're using the same exact footage. So Eligos set up the defense break plus the target on that. I think that was Arwell. It's the same footage. And then Bologna kills it, right?
When the caster's speed is greater than the
then he throws a bomb.
Increases damage
it's a suitcase.
Proportional to the difference.
28k. Okay, so it's not a bomb effect unless it's just straight up killed. It's literally a bomb, but not like the flan bombs, pirate flan bombs. So 28k, highest attack target. Gives himself perception and attack up. Wow. 28k, guys. That's kind of crazy.
Up to a maximum of 200%.
So definitely a different style of cleave unit. We're already seeing, right? He wants to set something up. Set up debuffs. Push back the opener. And then your follow-up unit will set up his skill 2. And so he gets a lot of momentum kind of out of turn. Similar to maybe like a unit like Cavill, right? Who leads with his AoE skill 2 into his skill 3. Eligos is going to lead with skill 3 into his skill 2. Skill 1 is point blank shot. Attacks the enemy by dashing towards them. When the caster granted perception, which he will get when one of his allies kills a unit, defeats an enemy. Triggers a dual attack from the ally with the highest attack. Damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's speed. Okay. Let's see this animation. Very nice, guys. So the requirement is that he has to have perception, which he gets from the skill 2. So he has to have someone kill an enemy. So there's all the requirements to his kit. But hopefully when you guys are like it's very all-in cleave aggressive style, right? You really want to make sure you either have soul so we can defense break something, and then you push back their opener so you're not interrupted. Your follow-up kills a unit. You get the perception. You do big damage with the bomb. And then even on your following turn when you have perception, you can finish off units with that dual attack. And hopefully he's high speed, so he'll probably lap slower units, things like that. Very cool kit overall, but there is a lot of, how do we say this, guys? A lot of turning, a lot of moving parts, I should say, right? That could get interrupted, could get messed up, but hopefully if y'all build a cohesive team, those of you that like playing this cleave aggressive style, you can make it work.
From the ally with the highest attack.
Oh, that's cool. That little kick. Pistol shot. It did 7k, I believe, and then Bologna did another 7k. So respectable damage, right? He scales off that speed. And then Bologna, it pulled the Bologna damage there.
To the casters.
And they get countered. Okay. Let's see the artifact.
Eligos' artifact.
An offer you can't refuse. By the way, the art is this is god tier art. When attacking with a single attack, this is a ranger artifact. We have defense pen, which is pretty impressive. But not a lot of rangers are single target, guys. Cavill has single target skill 3. Eligos has S1 plus S3 and S2 actually. So Eligos is one that obviously can make great use of this. However, I wonder if most people will opt for guiding light. Remember, in the ranger slot, especially for openers, you really want that guiding light to fight things like Zeo, just to protect yourself on follow-up turns. Guiding light is such a powerful artifact. It really pushes a lot of other, artifacts out of the way just because of how good it is. But this thing, if you can find some rangers that have a lot of single target attack, defense pen is always very strong. And then we get the added bonus of when the caster defeats an enemy with a single attack. Remember, that's the important part. Increases combat readiness of the ally with the highest combat readiness except for the caster by 10%. So there's a lot of ranger artifacts. I think, what is it? Is it Rosa or Sasha things? However you want to pronounce that, guys. There's a lot of ranger artifacts that give like combat readiness push too. This is coupled with the defense pen, so looks pretty powerful. Just be careful, guys, pulling too many of these unless you know what you're doing, because otherwise I think a lot of times Guiding Light is kind of just a very good artifact alternative and shores up a lot of weaknesses that these squishy rangers have versus certain units like Zeo, etc. All right, guys. Otherwise, I'll probably pull Eligos and test him just because he looks awesome and he seems fun, but he's not my kind of unit. So those of you that play that cleave aggressive style, I think you're going to love this guy. Remember, moving parts, not a straight out of the box like just dumpsters units with front-loaded damage. You got to do a little bit of setup. You might need some souls. You might need Guiding Light. You want to make sure your speed tuning is on point to get that follow-up, to make sure he activates his skill 2 and then his follow-up skill 1s. A lot of cohesive parts to his kit that you need to make sure all line up smoothly. Otherwise, I think he's going to be underwhelming. But if you do get everything, right, if all the stars align, I think he's going to decimate. So very cool design. I think they killed it with that jazzy gangster. Almost reminds me of like Spy Family kind of thing. 007, whatever. I think he looks cool, man, even though I'm not a fan of these fast cleave style units. Yeah, hopefully you guys are excited. Can't wait till it gets released, and then we'll also check out Eligos. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out, guys.